Okay, so in this video, I want to demo some of the creatures that might provide some basis for the large version of the Javelin Serpent. Okay, so originally, let me pull this up here. The original idea, the original idea for the Javelin Serpent came from this photo here. I was wanting a pet, a shoulder pet that could do all the things that I wanted a shoulder pet that could do all the things that all of my other shoulder pets could do. In particular, I wanted something amphibious because I really, really like Sparky, but Sparky doesn't provide all of the shoulder pets sort of amenities that I was looking for. So I wanted something amphibious like Sparky is. I could envision it, wrapping around the player's chest and the head kind of, excuse me, sticking out right here next to the player's head. And then, the wings could be up or the wings could be down and sort of wrapped around the player like a cape. So I could envision like a high profile and then like a lower profile. So I wanted something that was going to provide insulation against heat and cold the way the otter does. I wanted something that would act like a jetpack, a glider, parachute, like the Sonoma crops does. I could envision something that would spit poison at enemies, kind of like the Mesopithecus can throw poop, or the Cosmo or the Pyromane can shoot. The Pyromane can shoot fire from your shoulder, um, as can uh, uh, as can Sparky. Sparky can also shoot fire from your shoulder. Cosmo, of course, can get on your hand and you can shoot with it. I did a whole nother video on shoulder pets, so you can see it on there. Something that can be like if I'm the player and I have the snake pet, I can punch and then the snake would go flying off of my shoulder and hit my enemy and dismount them and then wrap around them and start biting them. Um, so I could also envision that the bite could be switched between a killing poison or a poison that put a knockout poison. Um, so I could envision that. These are the things that I was thinking about. And let's see here. Let me show you what Ellie came up with. If I can. Uh, no. I thought I had saved this already. Um, Hopefully this. Yeah, there we go. So this is the 3D model concept that Ellie came up with. And I was very specific with all of the modders who provided a proposal to develop. I was calling it the Jaculus, Jaculus, because that is a Greek word that means javelin. So the Jaculus is a um, mythological serpent, and that kind of throws itself the way you would throw a javelin. So I've started calling it the Javelin Serpent instead of the Jaculus, but it is what it is. So this is the 3D concept that Ellie came up with, and much like the Sparky or the Pyromane, it'll be able to shift between a large rideable form or a small shoulder pet form. And another thing that the shoulder pet should be able to do, it's going to be able to scare the Ichthyornis, the Pagomastics, and the Meganura, much like the Sonomacrops or the cat can do, kind of with a manual scream or an auto scream that requires aggro. It's going to be able to glow. Notice how Ellie put in these glowing scales right here, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, so kind of like the light pets. I really like the light pets, especially the lantern lizard. I wish I could remember what it's called off the top of my head. Um, but it's the glowtail or the featherlight. So it'll be able to glow and produce light, much like the glowtail or the featherlight. Um, Anyway, we haven't really worked out a taming mechanic. I've seen a lot on Reddit lately. People are very angry and tired of the complicated taming mechanics. So we might actually just offer both. We may offer a taming mechanic that's complicated and a taming mechanic that's not complicated. Um, we'll see. Um, so. So I've already done a video on shoulder pets, and I talked at length about some of the shoulder pets that the Javelin Serpent should emulate. Get out of here. I talked at length about some of the. So I've already done a video on shoulder pets, and I talked at length about some of the shoulder pets that the Javelin Serpent should emulate. Um, so in this video, I want to talk about some of the larger uh, uh, possibilities that we could use to create the rideable version of the Javelin Serpent. You know, the full grown. You know, like I said, kind of like um, Sparky or the Pyromane, where it can switch between the large rideable version or the shoulder pet version. So this is the poison wyvern here. Okay, so our first feature here is the poison wyvern, and I think everybody wants to be in my films. Okay, so notice that no saddle is required, which is a very nice feature. I appreciate that very much. It can walk on the ground. It can, but not very well. But you know, so right trigger is a bite attack. Left trigger, it shoots poison. So that definitely would be useful if we were to use this as our, um, as our main, as our base asset in the dev kit to create the rideable version of the Javelin Serpent. It already shoots poison, so that would definitely be useful. Of course, um, the wyvern does fly. Um, and I've been struggling with trying to decide whether or not the Javelin Serpent should be able to actually fly. Um, and that's why I have these other two over here as demos. So this is oh my poor brain, the Rock Drake. So the Rock Drake can't fly necessarily, but it can glide. And oh, okay, notice how it disappeared. One of the features of the Rock Drake is that it has a chameleon mode, and that's engaged by clicking a right trigger. I have to figure out how to engage the gliding on the Rock Drake. Oh, found it. Okay. Um, I should have worked this out before I created the video. So A to jump. Ah, I'm killing it here. Okay. A to jump, left, um, left bumper. And now notice it's gliding, so I have to point downward to gain speed, otherwise I stall. So if I point the rock drake up for too long, I stall and fall out of the air. So if I point down, I gain speed, and then I can continue gliding. Um, I think that is a much more appropriate mechanic for the rideable version of the Javelin Serpent. Um, I haven't fully, I'm not fully invested in either in that just yet. Haven't really decided. Now, notice one really cool feature about the Rock Drake is if I use left trigger, it will climb and it will cling to walls, which is really cool. So, so that's a neat feature. I don't think the Javelin Serpent will have that feature, clearly, because it's not going to have any legs. Um, but and I don't think the Javelin Serpent will have the Mirage capability either. Um, but you know, and the Rock Drake, of course, can't spit. So, other than the gliding, I think the gliding mechanic is something to consider for the Javelin Serpent. Now, when I originally envisioned the rideable version of the Javelin Serpent, I really thought about the Basilisk. The Basilisk cannot fly or glide in any way. Um, let's see if we can. Uh, let's see if we can. There we go. Let's zoom out a little bit. I think that's a little bit better. Okay. Um, its movement mechanic, it needs some work. Notice how it has that snake-like motion, which is appropriate. However, I don't feel like it's timed well to the terrain. And notice when I turn like this, it doesn't really it doesn't turn well, right? It doesn't turn like a snake would. So I don't like that. Um, but and of course it can't glide, it cannot fly in any way, but it does seem to oh, this is nice. Look at that. That's a lot better than the slow. Okay, so the sprint motion is pretty good. Um, it can spit. Oh, where's our spit? Oh, oh, hold on. Let's uh, deactivate camera mode. Um, there we go. There's our spit. So just like the poison wyvern, um, it can spit. So that would definitely be useful in using this as um, uh, a base model or a base asset to create the rideable version of the Javelin Serpent, is that already has the spit. So we would have to probably use the Basilisk as the base asset and then add the Rock Drake's gliding ability, perhaps, in order to create the rideable version. Now, let me see if I can figure it out. Oh, A. So when you press the jump button, with Xbox it'll be A. Notice how it burrows and then it leaves its little. I assume these are its breathing. It's how it breathes. Um, so that's kind of an interesting. Let's see how the basilisk does in water. If it's at all. Uh, okay, it doesn't seem to have a doesn't seem to have an oxygen stat, which is good. It is doing okay. Okay, it'll do its bite attack, but it won't spit in water. Okay, so that's good. Let's go up onto land. All right. Whoop. Oh. Oh, that's not good. That's... It's clipping into the terrain, which is really not good. Oh, okay. So, old boy wants to challenge us. That's fine. So, I guess we got to demonstrate the acid spit attack. That's decent. Okay. All right. So it did well in water. That's good. I appreciate that. Let's see how the rock drake does in water. I imagine it probably takes to the water much like the air, would be my guess. Oh, okay. It does, however, have an oxygen um, stat. So you can see when I go underwater, so the stats for the creature are in the top there. And you can see its oxygen is depleting, and I go up and it gets air. And then I go back under and its oxygen begins to deplete. So it's pretty decent. It does... Oh, that was fantastic. I'll bet whoever made Sparky used the rock drake. Look at this. Look at this. Straight out of the water into the air. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. So we definitely are probably going to want to use that. Because I want the Javelin Serpent to be able to do something like that. That was a fantastic experience. I have not done that with the rock drake yet, so I haven't honestly. I like the rock drake, I really do. I just haven't used it very much yet in game because I have so many other things that I use, so many other tames that I use. Okay, so there's one more thing that that I want to do and demonstrate for the shoulder pet version of the Javelin Serpent, and it's going to be Dilphosaur. Oh, there's a ton of Dilphosaurs. Good. All right, let's just pick one here close to us. So notice, so I would like the shoulder pet version. Are you kidding me? Oh, there we go. Okay. I would like the shoulder pet version of the Javelin Serpent to be able to do... Come on. Aggro on me. There we go. Okay. There. See how it spit poison? If I wasn't in creative mode, that poison would have blinded me. So let's go out of creative mode a second and see if we can get it to blind me. Oh, come on. I don't want to die. I just want it to blind me with its poison. Oh, it spit poison, but I was too far away. Okay, let's kill the second one here. Alright, that's good. Let's just keep refilling my stats until it shoots poison. There we go. There we go. Okay, so you see how blind I am now, right? And there's a timer there for what, like 6 seconds or something? Alright, so you get the idea. So it spits poison, it blinds you. So that's something that I would like to see the Javelin Serpent be able to do when it's mounted on your shoulder. Now, if it's wild, and it's in so in the wild it should be in its small form, and in its shoulder pet form in the wild is what it should be. Um, so if you run up to it, maybe I don't know, maybe it acts the same as the Dilphosaur, and blinds you. That's actually I there's one thing. My apologies. There's one thing actually now that I would like to do, and I don't know why these saddles keep glitching. Um, both of these have saddles, but for some reason they keep disappearing even though they're there. And then it makes me look like I'm riding without a saddle. All right, so this is another mod that somebody made. It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant, beautiful mod. Works fantastically. It's the taming mechanic is fun, complicated but fun. Um, and so you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of controls, very specific controls that you can see over on the right-hand side. So much like the basilisk, A uh, does things. A will send you into coiled mode or uncoiled mode. Notice that they've really done a fantastic job of working out the snake movement motion, so that it's so much more realistic. And I would love to see us do that with the Javelin Serpent. So exiting gun mode. Um, so right is a light strike, heavy strike. Oh, with the tail. That's the tail whip. Very nice. Okay. Um, and then right bumper, right trigger allows us to rotate in place. Okay. Very nice. Um, oh, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Um, okay. So exit coiled mode. Tail swipe. Ooh, very nice. Okay. Python stance. Very nice. So we can actually just ride along the ground. Okay. Okay. Let's get out of Python stance. Go to Cobra stance. Okay. Um, so, oh, probably not grabbing because it's a tamed animal. Anyway, so what I wanted to demonstrate there was the improved snake-like mechanics that allows it to move along the ground in a much more realistic way versus say the basilisk, which wasn't the basilisk was okay, but it wasn't fully worked out the way I think it probably should be. So that's what I wanted to demo. Thanks for watching.